Hey guys, Mustang here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today we are jumping back into the Dragon Ball Super stage of Infinite Dragon Ball history to complete the movie bosses mission. So, yesterday's video we did movie heroes. We did a full team of movie heroes, even though both of the missions only require you to have 3 units that are in that category. And today we are doing movie bosses. Now, movie bosses is a lot harder. So I feel like today for me has been cursed for recording, because if you guys have seen the Frieza enlistment test video for today, that one took me hours to make because I just kept getting terrible RNG. And then now this video, I've had 3 failed runs so far where I got all the way to Blue Gogeta. And those of you who have obviously done this event will probably know that getting to Blue Gogeta, it can take about half an hour. So that's basically an hour and a half just, you know, down the drain. But it's been interesting to see which units do really well and which ones are just absolutely a very bad idea to bring. And so that has led me to this team build that you are seeing here now. So we are basically aiming to get the mission done to use 3 movie bosses units. So I am not using a full team of movie bosses. We are taking advantage of Cooler's leader skill, the transformation boost and terrifying conquerors to run. I think we have 4 movie bosses on the team, and then the other 2 just come under transformation boost. So this Golden Frieza, who of course infinitely stacks his defense, so it's going to be very, very good. He'll be taking double-digit damage even from super attacks from Blue Gogeta. And then we have this Frieza. So this is tech transforming Frieza, but reversed into his normal SSR state, because in his normal state he infinitely stacks attack and defense forever, whereas the transforming Frieza, by the time you get to Golden Frieza, he stops raising his defense. And I think when we are up to the physical full power, like Super Dragon Ball Z BROLY, that Golden Frieza was taking like 80k damage from normal attacks, which, as I'm sure you can guess, is not really what you want. Like, it's actually very bad. So I'm going to go ahead and transform Cooler here, actually. So yeah, one really big advantage that Cooler brings to the table is the fact that he can get the guaranteed crits and transform this early against Pure Saiyans. And obviously we fight Goku, we fight Vegeta, we fight Broly multiple times. So there's a couple of stages where he's going to be getting those guaranteed crits. Plus, he does have the chance to do additional supers and infinitely stacks his attack once he's transformed. So by the time we get to the end of the event, he can be putting out some really big numbers. But the one thing I will say, and this is what lost me the last run, is actually with this exact team. But unfortunately, the reason was the items that I brought. So I definitely recommend, if you're bringing the double Cooler leads, you need to make sure you're bringing at least one item that is either like a Whis or a Icarus, maybe even a Ghost Usher. Because when you get to AGL Gogeta, he absolutely destroys Cooler. So you need to make sure that if there is a turn where Cooler has to take 2 or 3 hits, you need to be using that item. Because unfortunately, even with like a Android 8 active or whatever, I took a super attack from Gogeta and it did like 400k. And as you can see, the team only has just under 400k HP. So I think I'll leave this Cooler untransformed for now, just for the extra support here. But yeah, these 2 Friezas together, infinitely stacking. By the time we get to the end of the event, both of them are taking double digits from normals. And then the Tech Frieza, he can still take about 100k from a super attack. But that is pretty good, all things considered, with the amount of damage that people on the team will be taking. Unfortunately, Ink Golden Frieza taking a super attack this early on, we weren't quite built up enough. But hey, the double super definitely helps. We need to get that defense built up with him as quickly as possible. I do think he's the best Golden Frieza for these long form events now, because the Tech one and the AGL one, if you start the turn under a certain amount of health, they're nowhere near as good defensively. Like, the Tech one only gets a bit worse, but the AGL one completely loses his damage mitigation. and only keeps the infinite stacking of attack. Whereas that Ink Golden Frieza, whilst he's never going to break out of, like, you know, a certain attack stat, we're going to see him get to a certain attack stat, and then that's just going to be it for the rest of the event. But he is just going to keep stacking that defense. So regardless, even if we start a turn on 1 HP, we can just park him in front of all of the attacks and he's just not going to take any damage. So I do think he is the best Golden Frieza for this event. And then, yeah, the reason I brought Cell is another infinite stacking attack and defense unit, so he's going to be really good here. This is a really good turn for Cooler because we don't have to put him in front of any attacks. They have Metamorphosis, so that's something that we can make use of throughout the event, because any bit of extra free healing in this event, considering we are restricted with our item usage, is obviously going to be super helpful, because every little helps basically. And of course the units that are infinitely stacking their defense, they're going to get to a point where their defense is so high that we're not really going to even need to pick up that many orbs, and they're going to be giving us a pretty decent amount of healing as well. So that's going to work out very nicely for us in the long run. Obviously Cooler, every time we go up against a Broly or one of either Goku or Vegeta, he's going to be getting guaranteed crits. So we're going to be doing very nice damage to him, and of course the possibility for additional super attacks as well. So that's what's going to be good about this team. With Cooler here able to put out crazy amounts of damage, we are going to be able to get through some of the earlier stages very quickly. I think this is probably a good time to transform this Cooler, because obviously he's really good as a support unit untransformed, but his defense goes up in his transformed state, and I don't want to start breaking the rotations too early, so we'll transform him now, take advantage of the guaranteed crit and the little bit of extra defense, and then hopefully he should be okay in that last spot there. So go ahead and give that to you. We don't need to, I suppose we could. I was going to say, we'll go for the heal super attack with Cell, because then that just guarantees after the attacks that Janemba takes, he's not going to take a lot, but then Cell's just going to heal all of that right back. So that's going to work out very nicely. Obviously everyone's attack stat now is going to be a little bit lower because they're not getting that support from Cooler. Hey, Janemba dodging that super attack. That is what we like to see. So, but one of the things that makes this STR Cell so good is the 11 key super, if you can get 11 key, heals you, but then it also continues stacking his defense. So it doesn't matter which of his super attacks you get, he stacks attack and defense. So as long as we can just keep super attacking with him, it means we're going to be in a really good position for him later on in the event as well. And unfortunately, even though we got 2 additional normals, no additional super, that would have finished off Broly. But oh, and of course he's going to lock you there. Okay, so what we can do here, as long as we don't pick up too many same type orbs, we can lock in a Dokkan attack ready for next turn, where we start, I think, is it God Goku next? So we're going to be able to start off with a Dokkan attack against God Goku. So that's going to be very good in terms of starting out the fight, dealing a huge amount of damage to him. He's not attacking in the first slot. I don't think Janemba's passive is still active, because Janemba would definitely be the best candidate for this Dokkan attack. I think we should probably still get it anyway. I think he probably does more damage than Cell at this point. I don't want to put Cooler in the first slot because I don't want Cooler on main rotation at this point. So yeah, let's go ahead. Oh no, I clicked this purple orb. That's annoying. Hopefully he'll additional into a super attack, but that is very annoying. Cooler might take a little bit of damage from Goku at the end, but then of course we'll get the heal effect from the Dokkan attack, so that's going to heal us back up to full anyway. So I don't know if his passive was active. 2.4. I know when Cooler is untransformed on the rotation for support, Janemba can easily hit over 3 mil, but Cooler is obviously... Oh wow. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm happy with that. That's a very good Dokkan attack, so I'm very good with that. He sealed Cell though, which is really annoying, because Cell obviously needing to get those super attacks in order to stack his defense. So I don't think his defense is high enough for him to not take any damage from this. Yeah, 158. Unfortunately, we did so much damage with the Dokkan attack that I'm pretty sure we are just going to get a full heal for next turn anyway. Yeah, we are. Yeah, no worries there. So, let's do this then for now. Get you these, give Cooler these. So really, we just want to keep picking up same type orbs as much as possible because keep building up this Dokkan gauge. The Dokkan attack itself is, of course, another quote-unquote free heal. Very useful because you don't want to be using your items too early on in the event because the last couple of stages, man, Gogeta, both stages for Gogeta, he hits you so hard. Same with Broly, so you got to be very careful. You definitely want to be saving your items for the end of the event. But that Dokkan attack plus Cooler with those guaranteed crits, we make short work of God Goku. He's locked him in the last spot. That's annoying. Broly, why you gotta be locking my units like that? So, let's do this for you, because at least his passive will be active. You can get a super attack, and then, fortunately, because of Cell's kit, he can super attack with 10 ki. So, okay, he's gonna start off with a super. Okay. I don't know how high... Oh, well, Janemba's just gonna dodge. There you go. I thought the dodge animation appeared a bit earlier in the animation there, so I wasn't sure how that was going to turn out for us, but Janemba pulled a sneaky dodge out of the bag at the last minute, and that is exactly what we want to see. So, Tech Frieza able to get another stack in there, doesn't have to get hit this turn, and then Cell has type advantage, so he shouldn't really be taking any damage here. He's going to get a level 3 dodge as well, why not? He's like, if Janemba can do it, I can do it too, and then double digits for the rest of the turn, so... Normally I wouldn't want to put... normally this would be... like if we were against Gogeta now, this would be such a bad rotation. But fortunately, with the Coolers having type advantage and the fact that we're against a pure Saiyan, this is going to be a very good turn. No one on the rotation is really going to take that much damage. Even Golden Frieza having type disadvantage, his defense should be more than high enough now for at least normal attacks to not really do any damage to him. A super attack in the middle there could still do a decent amount of damage to Frieza, but normal attack, as long as it's a normal attack, we shouldn't really take anything here. I think it should still be double digits, honestly. Yeah, 30 damage, we'll take that. And then in comes Cooler number 2 for some more pure Saiyan violence, guaranteed crits. Yeah, 1.83. And an additional normal. Very, very good. I mean, that's my Cooler at 55%, and he's only taken a couple of hundred damage from normals. The super attack, will this do, what, 50, 60? Oh, 80k, okay. But we've got some good links here. Okay, he didn't lock anyone in place. I don't really want to put you there. His defense is almost 100k, though. That's not bad. We are on full health as well. I'll just be a bit worried if he super attacks Metal Cooler. But let's do this. And then this. And then we can give Metal Cooler these. I mean, we're on full health. Worst case scenario is Cooler gets super attacked. We might just be instantly dead if we do. But I feel like it's worth going for it here. Because Janemba and Frieza are not really going to take any damage. If Frieza could additional super, that would be good. No. Still hasn't supered yet. That concerns me. My Metal Cooler does have 20 dodge, so you never know. Ooh, 61k from a normal attack. Hey, but there's 2 dodges. There you go. So very lucky we didn't take a super there, because that really would have been a lot of damage. But let's do this, because I want to make sure I get a stack with you. That shouldn't kill him, which then means we get another stack with Cell, and then if Cell doesn't kill, Cooler absolutely will. So that actually plays out really well for this rotation, because that's the one thing you don't want, is when you bring units on these long form events. I see people make this mistake quite a lot, where they bring defensive stackers, especially like the free-to-play ones who don't stack as quickly, but then they don't get the chance to super attack with them as much, because the more powerful units on the turn, they're having them attack first, and then they're beating the phase before the stackers get to attack. So you always want to try and make sure your defensive stacking units are super attacking more than the non-stacking units. So what's Frieza's defense at now? 139. We can probably do this and be okay. because I don't want to float off Frieza here. But we can do this, and then we can get those for you as well. So super attacks for everyone. Obviously now we're against Golden Frieza, so Cooler's not going to get his huge boost here, but he still has grounds to do okay. He's been infinitely stacking his attack this whole time as well, remember, since he transformed, so he's probably still going to hit a reasonable number. Frieza, of course, getting another stack. Of course he gets super attack. I was going to say the only thing that would be bad here is if this Frieza gets a super attack, but as you can see, the normal attack did double digits, so we are perfectly fine. And Cooler, yeah, see, even without a crit, he does 1,000,000 damage. That's pretty good. And then we get the additional super as well. So, there you go. Nice little bit of extra damage to come here from STR Cooler. So, and he took double digits. That's actually less than I expected. So, that's actually pretty good. I guess we'll do this. Yeah, because we can grab all these int orbs with Frieza, which will be a really nice heal. Yeah, there you go. Giving defensive stackers own type orbs later on in the event is really, really good for some free heals. So that was a really nice heal there from Golden Frieza, considering we didn't really pick up that many int orbs. We got a very decent heal there, so very, very good. No crit from Golden Frieza. Additional normal. Come on, Cell, what have you got? 2.4 on the attack stat. That's very good as well. Hey, and we'll take that additional super. The additional super, so you notice the attack stat I think was actually slightly lower because units that additional super, if they have different key levels of super attack, and you always see this is why LRs work the way they do, is when they do an additional super, it will be the lowest key version of their super. So when STR Cell does an additional super, it's the 10 key version of his super attack. So that's why his attack stat, even though he stacks attack, his attack stat was lower on the second super attack than it was on the first, because his 10 key super attack is weaker than the 12 key one. So always seems weird when you see that, considering he's raising his attack with the first super, and then on the second super attack he had a lower attack stat. So bit weird, but that's why that is like that. And then Cooler, I mean, we're getting close to beating Golden Frieza here, so Cooler, if you could come through with a crit maybe, that would be real good. Hey, there you go. And an additional normal as well. Not quite going to finish him off here, but that's okay. Actually, we're in a good spot here, because this turn, if I can get a bunch of same type orbs, we are in a good spot to let's let Cell go first, because Cell needs to stack more than Golden Frieza. Golden Frieza stacks his defense so quickly, I can imagine he's much higher than Cell. Yeah, by like 200k. So this is what I was saying about making sure your stackers get to super attack as much as possible. It's much more important for Cell to super attack here than it is for Frieza. Plus we can get the 11 key super and get a little bit of a heal. And then this lets us go into the Gogeta fight fairly close to a Dokkan attack. If I go hard on the same type orbs, we might be able to get it next turn, but I'm not sure. Although we're not going to be able to get a lot of same type orbs here anyway. We can get those for you, and then, yeah, the int orb is a little bit out of reach here. But that's fine. We got Metal Cooler, who is, of course, the more... hey, look at that. Janemba dodging supers. That's what we want to see. Metal Cooler's obviously the most defensive liability on the rotation, and he doesn't have to take any hits. So this is a really good setup for us. And Janemba dodging the super attack is really, really big here, because that's just a whole bunch of damage that we don't need to take. Because once you start getting to the Gogeta phases, even though Janemba lowers the damage that he takes because he technically guards all attacks, he still takes a pretty reasonable amount of damage from supers. Like, he's not, you know, he's not in a Golden Frieza position where he's taking double digits. Like, he will still take maybe 80k, maybe even 100k, which, you know, ideally we just do not want to do. So we'll do this. This is actually not the best turn to get the Dokkan attack, because Golden Frieza is not the hardest hitter. But I should have put Cell in the first slot probably. But I mean, honestly, in terms of the actual damage that we do, I'm not too bothered about the Dokkan attack, The Dokkan attack's main purpose, really, for us is the heal. Wow, really? I swear I picked all those bottom ones. I'm going to blame the emulator and the mouse for that one. But the important thing is really the heal. It's like, because Cooler's probably going to take a reasonable amount of damage at the back end. And if he gets super attacked, he really is going to take, like, probably close to 200k. And then we go into the next turn, we get the heal from the Dokkan attack. So that is the most important part of this whole scenario. And he's going to super attack Golden Frieza, so this is perfect. He should take double-digit damage here. Oh, well, single-digit damage. Okay, you go, Frieza. That's what we want to see. Single-digit damage. And then Cell getting the level 3 dodge. Why not? I love it when units level 3 dodge an attack that would do double-digit damage. But hey, you guys know, if you've been around the channel long enough, we've had runs that have been saved on certain events where a level 3 dodge has either dodged a normal attack that would do like 80k or even a super. So, but speaking of dodging supers, Gogeta, that's not what I like to see. You're not supposed to dodge my super attacks. I'm not happy about that. But okay, let's do this and then give you those, and I'm just going to keep as much as possible going for same type orbs. I think this far through the event, considering we have what, this Gogeta, then we have full power Broly, and then it'll be AGL blue Gogeta. I don't know if we could get another Dokkan attack before the end, but obviously if we could, that would be really, really good. So we'll see how that's going to play out here. But yeah, Frieza taking double-digit damage, you absolutely, I can't stress enough, like, Frieza is really good for this event if you just reverse him into this form. Because in his, like, transforming state, the Golden Frieza just takes way too much damage. And the only trade-off is he'll do more damage earlier on in the event. But obviously, that I keep saying untransformed, but, like, unawakened is probably, you know, more accurate. But he stacks his attack, so eventually he will get up to hitting the kind of attack stats that Golden Frieza will, because the event is so long. Like, obviously in a shorter event, where you can maybe get to Golden Frieza and then the event ends not long after that, then obviously you don't really want to have him in his unawakened state. But in this run, like, he's kind of held his own very much, so I'm very happy with his performance here. I'm also very happy when Gogeta super attacks Golden Frieza, because then we don't have to worry about taking a load of damage. Cells up to 2.6. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately, Metal Cooler's not going to be enough to finish off Gogeta here. So we go on to the next rotation, and hopefully Janemba can finish things up for us here. Although Janemba can't get a super attack. Oof. I guess I could put Frieza in the first slot, and then Frieza can't get a super attack. Okay, it's better to do this then, because Janemba, I want to super attack with Frieza as much as possible. Janemba still has the potential to dodge. He is going to take a little bit more from the normal attacks than Frieza would, but it kind of depends how many dodges we would get. Oh, we get an additional super, so I mean, hey, I guess that all worked out, huh? So we get a crit, we get a dodge, another hit, and so okay, so we took a little bit more damage than if we put Frieza in the first spot, but we got the additional super. That's very good, and then Frieza finishes him off with a crit. So second to last phase now. Broly actually not going to be as much of an issue as we might expect, because of course he is going to fall prey to yeah, we don't need the heal, so I should grab the STR orbs really. He's going to fall prey to Cooler's guaranteed crits. And Golden Frieza's defense is going to be so high at this point that it really doesn't matter that we're fighting a physical enemy. I need to remember to actually do a defense check, because on that failed run that I talked about, the most recent run where I died with this exact team against Blue Gogeta, his defense was getting close to 700k. So he is very, very, very good in this event. Obviously his attack stat not crazy high, and obviously unless he crits he's basically doing no damage here. But double super, perfect. Man, his defense is going to be so high. Definitely need to remember to check that next turn. But that is working out very, very well. And then 2.9 for Cooler with a guaranteed crit. Of course, Pickles is going to come in and start meowing at me now. But I'm recording. I suppose in his defense, I've been recording for so long. He's been asleep in the bedroom for ages, but... Okay, so... Let's see. We should be okay here. Hopefully Cooler doesn't get absolutely decimated in the last spot. There's not much I can really do about it. I don't want to use an item now. Actually, I could use this. Because we're not having to use many items, I'm going to use this. I want to absolutely save the Whis for Gogeta. But I'm going to use the Princess Snake, even though we're on full health. I just want to get that little bit of damage mitigation for Metal Cooler at the end. Just to make sure that he doesn't die. Plus, you know, it saves Janemba a little bit. Because Janemba was taking, what, 7k from Gogeta. So he'd probably take a couple of thousand from BROLY as well. So at least that drops that down to double digits. And then... Freezer coming in, the additional normal. Okay, the attackle. Thanks to the Princess Snake, that's just not going to do anything. Yeah, double digits to everyone. So he still hasn't super attacked. So I'm a little bit concerned. Yeah, see, 23k and then 23k. Okay, so we didn't really need to use the item, but honestly, at this point, much better to be safe than sorry. And we'll go ahead and do this. Yeah, it works out better for your attack links, doesn't it? So let's get the heal super attack with Cell. That works out very nicely. And then some STR orbs for you. So we are building up the Dokkan gauge actually a lot quicker than I expected. Because obviously BROLY and then Blue Gogeta, they have so much health that these last couple of phases are obviously quite long. So... What? Right, Cooler, come through, get these additional super attacks for me. Okay, well that's an additional normal. That's a good start, but we want the additional super. Okay, well, 2 additional normals. Not going to complain because him getting guaranteed crits means that even normal attacks do a really nice amount of damage. So, we're definitely in a good spot here. And we should be able to finish him off next turn. So if we can grab a bunch of same type orbs here, that puts us in a super good spot for the next turn. So grab those for you, and give you this, and then give you these. So we're over halfway towards the Dokkan attack for Blue Gogeta. So I feel like we could potentially be finishing off Blue Gogeta with a Dokkan attack, which would be a very nice way to end the run. We don't really have anyone on the team who's like a standout powerhouse who would be a really good candidate for the Dokkan attack, because you would think Cooler, but obviously because Gogeta does not count as a pure Saiyan, we wouldn't get a guaranteed crit. The Pod Freezer is going to have type advantage, and he has been stacking his attack this whole time, so maybe he'll be able to do enough. But I mean, you can see here he's still only up to like a 1.9 million attack stat. So maybe Janemba, if his passive is able to be activated. I guess it depends if there's going to be an attack in that first slot or not. So I guess we'll see. Cooler comes through, finishes off BROLY, and now this is the main event. So this is where it can start to get a bit tricky. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. And then I'm going to use a Princess Snake to start with, because that should... Metal Cooler is not as big of a defensive liability. I just used a Whis, didn't I? Wow. Okay. I clicked on the wrong item. I was going to say, Metal Cooler's not as much of a defensive liability, so I'm not too worried about him. But I wanted to save the Whis for whenever Cooler was around. But at least the Whis lasts for 2 turns, so we should be in a very good position here. Metal Cooler is not the worst. I mean, I think, what was he taking from Blue Gogeta? It was still probably about 30k. So with a Whis active, as long as we're not getting super attacked, I think Metal Cooler might even take double digit damage actually. But we are about to find out. Come on, Metal Cooler. Pickles, please be quiet. Yes, double digits. Okay, good. Man. Okay, so... Okay, we know the Whis is still active, so we should be okay here. Because I know for a fact that the super attack from Gogeta on Cooler would do like 400k. So having the Whis active means that even if he super attacks Cooler, we are definitely going to survive. So that makes me a little bit more confident about going through this rotation. And then what I'm probably going to have to do is, depending on where the attacks line up in the next turn and where we can put the other STR Cooler, I might have to just use the other Whis straight away. Hopefully, I'm kind of just hoping the game gives me some sort of respite and that there is actually a slot where I can put Cooler that he's not getting attacked, because obviously once the items are gone, that's when we yet again are just relying on RNG to hope that we don't get immediately destroyed, because Cooler still taking 15k with a Whis active is not the best. But yeah, I guess what we're going to have to do is probably going to have to do this. I guess what I could do though is I'll do this, get the heal for you. I will go ahead and use the Whis. We are going to get the Dokkan attack next turn, I'm pretty sure. So that's obviously going to put us in a really good spot. Hopefully, because Gogeta attacks so much that I'm assuming there's going to be an attack in the first slot. So Janemba in the first slot to get the Dokkan attack, I think is probably going to be the way that we want to go here. Because then that keeps us pretty safe in terms of the heal that we're going to get. The Whis is going to be active for the next turn as well. So even if someone gets super attacked that we don't really want, we've got that Dokkan attack to follow up. Because that's the good thing, right? The problem with getting a Dokkan attack is you have to still survive that turn. So that's the advantage, of course, of having the Whis still active next turn. Because then we should be in a position where dying is, I'm going to at least say, unlikely. I've done this run enough times now and seen some very bad RNG to know that it's definitely not impossible. But just don't super attack Cooler. Okay, good. So now, Whis is still active. You're here. Metal Cooler will be fine in the last spot. So if we put you there and grab all of those. If we just miss the Dokkan attack, that's going to be really annoying. I think we might actually. Are we just going to get it? Oh, no. Okay, so next turn is when we get the Dokkan attack. But we don't have any defense. So I might have to Princess Snake next turn. It depends what happens with Cooler. Because the problem is, as I said at the start, is the RNG is what's going to potentially screw us over. Because if I don't use an item next turn, we do the Dokkan attack, and then even if STR Cooler is only taking one attack, if that attack is a super attack, I just die. Because a Gogeta super attack on STR Cooler does 400,000 damage, and we don't have 400,000 health. So it depends. I mean, the Dokkan attack should kill, though. Possibly. It's tough to decide because Cell, in theory, should do more damage. But if he doesn't crit, then he won't do a lot of damage. So it's hard to say. Although we are able to get the 6 orbs, which gives him his extra buff. So yeah, I think we do have to go ahead and do this. And then we are just going to go ahead and Princess Snake. Because the idea here is that we're just pouring all of our damage into this last turn here. Hoping that this turn is going to be the one. Because anyone who gets super attacked this turn is at least going to take less damage. And then we get the full heal from the Dokkan attack next turn. We hit all the nodes. Okay, RNG, our fate is in your hands. Cell has a 2.74 million attack stat. If we get a crit here, then it's big damage. If we don't get a crit, then it's not going to be that much damage, really. Oh, wow, actually still 1.6. I mean, that's not bad, all things considered, but we really needed a crit there. That would have been easily 2.5 to 3 million damage. But, okay, not bad, not bad. So, I think we're good here, because even with a super attack now, with the Princess Snake active, he shouldn't kill Cooler. And then we get the heal from the Dokkan attack. So, between Janemba and Tech Freezer next turn, we should kill. Okay, and he didn't super. Alright, yeah, this should be GG, boys. I think we finally done it. So we give those to you, give those to you, and then might as well give you that as well. So this should be it right here. Janemba should be able to finish it off. His passive is active, nearly a 2 million attack stat. If he doesn't finish him off, then Frieza will come in, and there you go, the unawakened Frieza getting the W. But we finally managed to beat it. I can't believe it. So wow. So 4 runs in total, meaning that technically to make this video it took me just over 2 hours. And yeah, it's not an easy event when you're trying to use specific units to get the missions done. But there you go. There was those last 2 missions, because obviously the missions were the 3 movie bosses characters, and then the other one is just complete all the missions. So that of course gives us an extra 3 stones and a Kai. I don't think I've ever worked so hard for 3 stones. So let me know what team you guys used to get it done. Maybe you had a lot better RNG than me. I'm certainly glad it's over with, and I can't wait for the future Trunks Saga stage to come out as well. So there you go. That is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord. The link is in the description below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.